Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Lionel. I'm your host of LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. Today, we are covering Belle Collective Jackson. This is Season 7, Episode 10, and the mid-season finale. I do appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video. You can also subscribe, share, and leave your comments below. And let's get into this week's episode. All right, so as I already have stated, it is the mid-season finale. The show is going on break for a little while. We know these own shows going on break, but I believe that they'll be back in June. Anyways, I mean, we've had 10 episodes. It's not like it's like 5 here, 5 there, and they go on break. But I think after that, then we should get the rest of the season. So I'm wondering if it is 10 episodes that we're getting 20 episodes this season. I wonder. Last season was just whatever. But anyways, we shall move forward. Our first scene is with Letitia. She goes and sees a financial advisor. I guess Letitia was on this panel or something at an event with this financial advisor, and the financial advisor was glad to see her after whenever they met before. Letitia is wanting to gain financial independence away from Glendale, as we've already known. And the financial advisor is going over the necessary steps as to at least finding out everything that she wants done. And as far as this independence and where do you want money to go to and how to protect yourself. What are you doing to protect your money today and tomorrow? Do you have life insurance? She said yes. On her child too. Yeah, and all that good stuff. What about a retirement account for you? I mean, she don't even have a bank account, according to what she's been telling us. So, of course, she ain't got a retirement account. Any investments, all that good stuff. So Letitia wanted to get answers. What is an actual prenup or post-nut? Now, if you know anything about the Real Housewives of Potomac, Ashley got a post-nut after all of these cheating allegations came out about him after season 5. I really don't know what happened with that. I'm hearing she got some type of settlement after she divorced. So I don't know what that was all about, but she's got a new chest, and she now wears wigs, and now looking glamour in her confessionals with furs or ers, whatever you want to think she has on, but whatever. She consistently has weave. Let me stop. I was about to say some other stuff, but you know, so yeah, it's cool. Look. The same question is asked later on in the season. I mean, in this episode by her partner and husband. You know, I've been saying it feels like that they're scripted. I'll leave it there. So we're done with that scene, and we're moving on to Latrice and Marie. Latrice has invited Marie to a gentleman's club. It's run by her godson, Jonathan. And Latrice just really wants to show her around. It's a strip club, y'all. And wants to see, okay, so what do you really want? I want to be sure if you want a woman or not. So they sit down and all that good stuff. And then after, Latrice is like, so do you want a woman or not? After all that you've shared with us during the thing. Of course, she's still saying, that was just so long ago. I do not believe. But I have to take in consideration, and it was spoke on Monday Night Live with Dustin and Carlos King. Shout out to him. And Claudia and Blue. You know, at least this is Mississippi. We have to understand that the South is still much more traditional, except for Atlanta. That's where they skipped over. Even though Louisiana, but Atlanta. But anyway, then Marie, who wants to deflect because she doesn't like anyone really asking her if she or if she's into women or not. So, have you ever tried to date a woman before you got with Cliff? And Latrice was like, no, that's not me. Marie, which I first was thinking that she was coming off like she knew something, but I don't know. It didn't go any further from that. But she keeps on, anytime somebody wants to ask her something personal, just like, was it last season? Before she actually chose her ex-husband? Like, what's going on and all that? Then she wanted to deflect and said, well, who in the collective, their spouses have cheated on them? Like, what? I think it was a diversion, a deflection to take whatever attention off of her. Anyways. But Latrice says, Marie never gives a straight answer when we started talking about this women's. I think she do. I think she does have a desire for it. She could be bisexual. I don't know if it's fluidity because I feel like bisexuality or being fluid sometimes is a safe answer. Even though a lot of people don't believe that you can be bisexual. I think there are more safe answers as to what you really want. But you may crave one thing over the other. But it's a lot out there. But it's just how I personally feel about sexuality and how people want to pose just so they don't be quote unquote marked as gay or lesbian. But if you're a man, it don't matter. You just looked at a man at all attractive and you're gay. While others do other things. So then they start talking about Shantae, who is Letitia's friend. Letitia says, I don't really want to be around her. She's the one that's doing a lot of effed up stuff towards Letitia. She was told by a mutual friend, Shantae was at Taste. Now, why are you at Taste? Saying anything, Shantae. She told a mutual friend that Glenn tried to talk to her. Do y'all believe that? I don't know. But anyways, we can get into that a little bit later. But she just doesn't understand, well, why, if you're her friend, how come you haven't come to her about what Glendale has done to you instead of all this other fake stuff? Marie wants to get a get-together so that the collective can voice their concerns. And it's all about these outside people. Why are these outside people able to bring all these rumors into the collective? So she sent a text and she decided to be super shady to Carrie. And she is inviting everyone. She's saying, Carrie, even you, as you're being a flip-flopper. She believes that because of how Carrie said that, based upon what Marie was telling her, someone overheard what she was saying as far as this whole baby situation with Mike. And she feels like Carrie did backpedal and pussy pop because she first said it was from the husbands. And then Carrie was like, I think I overheard it. I think that they overheard it from you talking about it during this time, during my birthday. Anyways, Marie's stuck on that, and she just thinks that Carrie is capable of being a liar. What do y'all think about that? Do you think that she switched up or added more than what was she initially said, and then that kind of makes her like, well, why didn't you say that in the first place? Because I could have sworn Cliff said that he heard it there too. So I don't know. But anyways, in later episodes, Cliff never let on that that's where he heard it from. He just heard the rumor around. But hopefully Carrie gets some receipts as to all of this, because these ladies, Letitia and Marie, are going to make sure that they are not looking like they are the villain and being messy. So anyways, Marie wants to know, are you going to come? And Latrice is like, I don't know. I don't really feel like it. It's kind of a we'll see, but at the same time, I'm not going to, no. Then the ladies, they get up and do what you do with strippers. You go up to the strippers, and if they're on the pole or whatever, Latrice got some dollars and all that, and they just start doing their thing up there. And Marie's all acting very Republican, like, oh, is this what we do? Let's stop. It's been a long time since I've been to a strip club. Let's stop, y'all. Stop, Marie. And the more that you trying to act like you don't know nothing about this lifestyle, it really looks like you are in the lifestyle. And that's crazy. You're the one that's making it hard on yourself. You're making it hard for you. That's all you are doing. So I don't know what you're doing. Anyways, we move on. It's very Glenn and Letitia heavy. I guess they was like, oh, we got to make up from last week when we didn't have to see him. Letitia is going to be meeting Glenn at some place, some type of restaurant. But beforehand, she talks with Shantae. And Letitia wants to know, are you prepared for this meeting that Marie has set up? She said, not really. I mean, there's already two of the Belles, TNT, Treese, and Tambra, that don't like me. So I guess, it's in a very hesitant way. Anyways, Glenn arrives, and Letitia talks to Glenn about Shantae. I guess about this meeting and being an outsider and stuff. Well, Glenn already feels a way about Shantae. Shantae doesn't want Glenn with Letitia. And Glenn is in his confessional, and this is probably the only time this season I'm going to agree with him, but he's looking in his pockets, open up his suit. Look, do you think I have any F's to give? You know, I don't. Who cares? I don't care nothing about what she's saying. Well, Marie was like that too, but I just don't hear any type of insults like you have for Marie. Just saying. So, Letitia at this point talks about her trying to be financially independent and seeing an advisor and all that. Questions were raised because, you know, Glendale has problems with anything that Letitia does outside of him. Letitia asks, you know, I know you have a 401k. Am I on it? At first, it wasn't clear. He says that his mom is on it, then he's on it, and then Josh is on it. It's split 3 ways. And she's like, okay. So I didn't know that your mom was on it. I saw some things on the internet that was just kind of like, of course he's going to take care of his mom. And I don't think that that's anything wrong with it. How are y'all married for this long and don't talk about simple stuff? And for whatever reason, Glendale hid or omitted by saying that, hey, my mom is on here. All because he's in control. And I'm sure he thought, well, that's my 401k. But you pout and you have tantrums because Letitia won't let you in on her business, on the enterprise. So I don't like that. And that is the control that he wants. Letitia wants something for herself, and the very thing that she's trying to get established, you said, I got to be a part of it. I got to be manager. When you're not upfront with her and communicating with her, I'm telling y'all from my own experience, whatever you want done for when you leave this earth, make it plain in your will or whatever that needs to happen for you. And also make it plain to the people on earth who should be doing what. More importantly, what's documented is what needs to happen. But a lot of people, y'all leave the earth and you leave everyone destitute as to what to really do with you. To speak a little bit on my experience, when my dad passed away, so much happened, but my dad wasn't expecting to pass away either. We struggling with the insurance company that he did have over who are the beneficiaries. All 4 of his children were on it. But then they looked through and saw first it was my mom, who's no longer his wife anymore. But then all of a sudden, there's another beneficiary. To this day, I do not know who the real beneficiary is. Like, there's a main one, and I guess there were supposed to be others. And it's more upon who's alive, on who gets it. And who's alive and who's the oldest. Now, I could go into more details, but maybe on another day. But yeah. Who got my dad's insurance money? Still don't know to this day. It's been 8 years. Maybe going on 9. Yeah, 8. It's going to be 9. Come this June. Yeah, that my dad has been gone. And to this day. And what we needed it for was for his funeral. I don't care what was left. We needed that money to pay for his funeral. Anyway. Yeah, so you need to make it plain. So y'all sitting up here acting like you want to be this, now you want to be this power couple, and y'all don't even have the basics down. She should know as to what to do with you when you die. And that's why we got so many GoFundMes right now. Because I'm telling you, people act strange when you die. People get funny. And there's a lot of hell you got to go through, depending on how you have to show up for people. I'm a witness to that. Anyways, moving on. So Glenn, shut up. You don't deserve nothing. But this girl gonna give in as we go through this episode. She talks about the post-nuptial agreement, how you feel about that. And he feels like, well, if we're doing some type of post-nuptial agreement, we might as well just divorce. And he's already made up his mind. He's not signing nothing. And then she also let him know what the financial advisor said, that as far as if he should be a manager or an advisor and all that. And she said that he could be an advisor if he chooses in regards to that. That's what she's comfortable with. Glenn is pissed. And he's like, I don't know this, Letitia. Of course not. It was a do I say type of way of operating. While cooking greasy pork chops for you, catering to you, massaging you, your back. And as Scotty by Nature says, feeding them some glory greens. Y'all know glory greens from the can. Now they can be good too, but but at this point, glory greens can be salty too. Shout out to y'all, glory greens. Anyways, you don't know this, Letitia. We move on to Matt. Matt, this is the first time we are seeing Matt with his mother and his parents. He talks in regards to his job and moving and transitioning into his own agency. He plans to collab with someone that is really highly respected. But the sports agency, I guess, for just baseball is what he's going to go into. He feels like when he gets that off and running, it'll be a weight off of him, off of his shoulders. And Mom was like, what do you mean? You riding Carrie's back? We find out that Carrie and the mom don't have a good relationship, even though they've been together since they're in high school. So that's got to be a good 15, 20 years that you've at least been around him. But nope, they got a contentious relationship. And this lady is blunt, mouthy, and she's going to say what she needs to say to you. So, oof. This will be good television, but oof. For the Paul's house, oof. I don't know. Right now, that there's just a struggle right now between Matt and Carrie to find balance because both of them are chasing after their careers at the same time, having children and a marriage and all that. And that's what they are really trying to grapple down on in some type of way. As far as this restaurant, I've talked to her mom tried to talk to her, but Carrie just don't listen to too many people. Mom says that she's not going to change. She's not going to change with you just going along with everything. And everything is okay with you. Matt admits that he has allowed, he said, I give her too much room to make big decisions without me. I wonder if this whole Montgomery, or is it Montgomery? This Mobile decision was just Carrie, even though it's Carrie's restaurant. I'd have to have more context in regards to that. Now, I really enjoy Matt on this show. I don't think that there's anything, I don't think he's saying anything foul. It's just, I don't have an understanding. So I'm not judging him or whatnot, but I would kind of like to know what are the big decisions that she made that did not include him in on it. But hey. And then Mom said, you sure did. Oof. You need to put your foot down. You would really think that Matt is a jellyback. I've seen him stand firm in a lot of things, and Carrie is stubborn, as he does state in this episode. He also says his mom is stubborn too, but it's just like, man, I haven't seen him because a lot of times he's voiced his opinions in all of that. But I guess how we seen in at least the first season that she came on, it was very, Matt will express his opinion and all that. I think that she's tried to make some adjustments, but not really come totally over, more of appreciation of him and all that, because it seems like he's been more stay at home and more active with the children while she tries to build that restaurant that's now flopping. Then Matt was like, well, maybe you can tell her what her husband has been trying to tell her. She said, I will. Of course you will, because you're ready to tell that lady off. Lord, I don't think that it's a good idea. But what Matt was saying is that it seems like the people around her who are familiar with her, I'm her husband and I can't get through to her. Neither can her mom. I don't think that it's going to be Miss Paul. I don't think that they said her name. But anyways, I don't think it's going to be her. They already have a contentious relationship. So why in the world would you think that the mom would be able to influence her? No, I think that she needs someone that is above her, meaning within the industry itself, or someone that has some more experience than her and may have had some challenges along the way, saying it's okay to let it go instead of spending all this money. But it just seems like Carrie wants perfection. And it's kind of been instilled in her to be perfect in so many ways, So I don't know why she wants to hang on to something. Even with you being your own entrepreneur. In business-wise, as far as in the restaurant retail world, and being a content creator, I mean, money matters. And why in the world would you keep taking this huge loss, and just cut your losses now? Maybe you can build someplace else. Maybe it's just not the time right now, you know? Ugh. But yeah, I'd find someone else, Matt, for y'all's own marriage. All right, so we back to Letitia and Glenn again. Glenn has agreed to be the advisor. We find out that Letitia is still working with First, and Glenn got a problem with that. And he ends up saying, money over disrespect, I guess. Aren't y'all choosing money right now to play in y'all marriage on this show? Please stop talking about some disrespect. I mean, you've disrespected the whole marriage. Letitia has come off of her abstinence era. I don't know how long it's been. Seems like probably a month, maybe. I'm just guessing. But she has some clarity on some things, and she wants to do some things to her body. She wants to get chin lipo, and she also wants to go under the knife to get weight loss surgery. Glenn don't like that either. Now, shout out to Erica De Niro. She said if she gets rid of Glendale, the weight will fall up off of her. She's carrying around a lot, and if Glendale goes, she'll get rid of him. She said that she's got something called PCOS. I don't know what that is. I should have looked it up, but I didn't before this review. But yeah, but that's why her weight is so up there. Whatever that is, I still think it's a Glendale problem. She asked him, so you don't want me to work? Glendale was like, I don't mind you working, but you be making moves that I know nothing about. Well, you made decisions about your 401k that she knows nothing about. You used to call me 100 times on the boat. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? And she said, yeah, I used to do that. And you know why I don't do that anymore? It's because I don't trust you. You're not a safe place. What else she said? I don't trust you with my heart, nor my business. So why you make him an advisor? Because he did ask where did he rank as far as being an advisor. She says her, CEO, the brand, and then him. So am I at the bottom of the food chain? She's like, no, you're ahead. Why are you doing this? So this is just a vanity title? Why are you doing this? Because he's still going to have a mouth and try to overrule you in the only thing that you got. And I think you should have stood 10 toes down. If you wanted your independence, get your independence. He could have at least helped you. Like, here's a couple $100. Open up your bank account. And I'll even give you some money along the way. Just to start you off. Something. Were you making any money? Well, who? If you don't have your own bank account, who was paying for Letitia Enterprises? You know that building that she was going to for about 3 seasons? That we don't see her in ever again? That was allegedly employing D, who is Soguchi's daughter, which I think by now, I think it's Sophia. Who was paying her? I don't get it, but whatever. So after Letitia said, I don't really trust you, he's like, why am I here? Why am I here? It looked like he was hurt when she was saying that. I done did all the changes I need to make. That don't mean that somebody is healed. And you want all these benefits. You've done a lot to her. It may have been one thing if she was off the show and you were still doing what you're doing. But now she's on a show where everything is magnified and so many eyes are on her. She has to know what's being said about her. And you act like it's just a simple snap and then everything's supposed to be okay. That's what you're used to from this woman. Just allowing you to do whatever, be mad for a second, and then, okay, we Gucci. It's not like that. Next up, Cliff and Latrice. They are on their estate. The Airbnbs, which I forgot about since we totally lost that focus, are 95% complete as far as the construction of them. She said that there's just a little bit of tweaks here and there, and then they should be ready to be posted up on Airbnb so they can get some business up in there. Miss Gloria comes by. Latrice really values her opinion, and she's like, if I get my mama's approval, I know it will be well. So she's in one of the Airbnbs and giving her opinion, which are all positive, thank God. Cliff leaves, and then Latrice and Miss Gloria, they go out on the porch with some blankets because it looked like it's still very cold there in Jackson. Hopefully, well, now I know it's got to get hot. in Jackson. Hopefully, they have a better filming schedule. I mean, let's try to move away from winter. I mean, look, we need some more outside stuff instead of them trying to suffer through and film these scenes outside. Because I think even Letitia had a cover when she was out at that, what I assumed, a barbecue place with Glendale. Miss Gloria asked Latrice, how are you and these so-called friends, the Bells, doing? She was just saying, the Bells want transparency, but I don't believe it. I think that they just want to be nosy in our business. I believe that too, Latrice. And they're going to use it against you later on. Then she brings up that she's now at a place where she wants to have a child, but she goes on to say that when I said it to some other of the cast, Cliff gonna say that he don't want a child and was joking about a vasectomy. Miss Gloria goes on just saying that Latrice was like, look, I had my own trauma. She didn't say this, but I'm just making it my own word right now. My own trauma, with dad being gone and all that stuff. Miss Gloria went into of her sacrifices that she made to try to make things good for them. I did what needed to be done, and it wasn't in an arrogant way. She just says, I'm really proud of you, and it really makes Latrice tear up. And she really needs someone to talk to Cliff. She said it's still very hard for her to be vulnerable with him and him take her seriously. And she is asking Miss Gloria, can you talk to him? And I said, wait a minute. And then she went on to say, he'll listen to you. You're his wife. What do you mean? What do you mean? And it's not. It's a knock against you a little bit, Latrice, but also to Cliff. If you can't even respect your wife's opinion, then why are y'all married? Or can't even listen to her? That's crazy. So then I said, well, if he listens to Miss Gloria, does that mean that the reason that it's like that because he actually respects someone more of his age, and because of this age gap, he can't really respect her? That's what I think, anyways. But y'all can tell me what you think in the comments. Next scene, Glenn goes visits with the lawyer. He wants to talk about a post-nup because he wants to know what that's all about. And the lawyer says, it's really something to divvy up on who's going to be financially responsible for this, that, and the other. It kind of is what happens when you're leading up to a separation or a divorce. And she asks, are you guys headed down that way? And we break away from that scene. We don't know what his answer was. That's good editing right there. All the Bells meet. And Marie is there to head it to just say, hey, I've been hearing some concerns around the collective and just really trying to make sure that this group is more close-knit than it has been before. I think it's cool that they're having meetings now, at least if they need to really touch up instead of just doing a scene. So I don't know what the manifestation of all that is, but their biggest grievance is Shantae, who's going around just spreading all these rumors. Marie says, that Latrice does not want to come. And the reason she don't want to come is because of Shantae. She don't want to be around her. Letitia's kind of just there, just taking it all in. Tamara says, when I first met Shantae, it was a mess. It wasn't even a hi. How are you? Would you like a beverage? Nothing. She came to me being messy. And the stuff that I'm hearing now about you and what she said, you ought to be careful. What did she say? It said after, I guess there was a fallout between Shantae and Letitia some time ago. But what she's going around telling people is that Letitia only got back good with her because she knew that I was in this new house and that she needed a place to film. We do know that the Pearsons do stay at an Airbnb, at least during filming. Now, I do know that there is a house that Glenn owns in Jackson. So, I think that was the same house. No. I think the house that they were sitting in today was an Airbnb. That's my honest opinion. I'm trying to think. I forgot. I done lost my train of thought. Yeah. Because remember, there was a house that Glendale was painting with his stepfather, with his father-in-law, or his own father. I forget which one. But it's like, that can't be the same house that they were just in. So, hey, whatever. Yeah, but just to get close to her to use her house, you are broke, and you had to borrow money in order to get your reunion dress. I said, oh, man. Shantae comes in. Marie didn't tell everyone that she was inviting Shantae to be here. Why? I don't know why. Of course, you wanted this shocker scene and all that, which you're playing producer. As much as Latrice, y'all claim that she does. She's doing it. Shantae's there. You know, some people feel like you're an outsider and you're just doing too much. And at this point, Tamara's ready to go. She wants to stand in solidarity, saying, look, one of the Belles is gone, and I'm going too. One band, one sound. And it shouldn't be that way, and these outsiders have got to go. Now, Letitia decided to look shocked and all that. I know Letitia wants Shantae on this show to be the disruptor. So you don't have any type of smoke for her, at least as of yet. So West Side Tam was coming out because she's really getting sick of her. She's like, I'm going and all that. And then Shantae was like, because Tam was like, I'm just sticking up for my friend. And then Shantae was like, oh, were you sticking up for your friend? Da, 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 da. And that was enough for Tamara. And Tamara was ready to go in on that wench. But that's all that happened, you know, in this episode. It felt very lengthy. They had a lot of storylines that needed to play out. I don't know what's going on with these Pearsons. They get on my nerves. Letitia is so used to giving this man his own way. It's ridiculous. Anyways, that's all I got, y'all. Y'all give me your thoughts on this episode and let me know what you think about all these situations. I appreciate everyone for coming. Like, comment, subscribe, and until the next one, peace.